Beasley. Here. Dominique.
Here.
Frazier.
Here.
Smith.
Here.
Pierce.
Here.
Jenkins.
Here.
Marcus.
Here.
Bradford.
Here.
Martinez.
Here.
Darden.
Here.
Morgan.
Here.
Jewel.
Here. Let the minutes reflect we do have a quorum for the Iberville Parish Council regular meeting this Tuesday, October 15th, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. right here in the council chambers. Next we have, I'll get Mr. Pierce to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I want to thank everybody for attending tonight. We got a full house, which is kind of unusual. So we'll proceed. Any addendum? We don't have any addendum. Any presentations and appearances? Anybody from the public wishing to speak must register with the clerk, and has to be on an agenda item. Next, we have a proclamation for the 2024 Evangelist Queen, Miss Olivia Ann Sanchez, and I'll ask Mr. Steve, our councilman, Mr. Steve. He will read that to that young lady. We'll invite her forward.
International Acadian Festival Weekend, whereas a proclamation has been presented by the Iberville Parish Council proclaiming an International Acadian Festival Weekend, and whereas the International Acadian Festival is an annual event commemorating the arrival of Evangeline in Iberville Parish, and whereas the arrival of Evangeline on the waters of Bayou Plaquemine is a reenactment of an actual route taken by her in search of her beloved Gabriel. And whereas Miss Olivia Ann Sanchez will reign as Queen Evangeline of the local Knights of Columbus Council 970 Festival, and whereas Evangeline and her princesses are presented at ceremonies on Bayou Plaquemine Locks with a formal reception following at the Iberville Parish Civic Center, and whereas Miss Olivia Ann Sanchez is a student at St. John High School, and whereas Keith and Kimberly Sanchez are the proud parents of Evangeline, and whereas the Iberville Parish Council recognizes and congratulates Miss Olivia Ann Sanchez for being chosen as Queen Evangeline of the International Acadian Festival. And now, therefore, Matt H. Jewell, Chairman of Iberville Parish Council, hereby proclaim the weekend of October 25th through 27th, 2024, as the 56th International Acadian Festival Weekend in Iberville Parish. In witness whereof I have set my hand and caused the seal of Iberville to be fixed upon this 15th day of October 2024, signed Matt Jewell and Parish President Chris Dale.
Good evening. My name is Olivia Sanchez and I am your 2024 Evangeline. I am extremely grateful to be chosen for this title. I would like to say thank you for allowing me to attend your meeting. I'm a fourth-generation student at St. John. I am enrolled in honors and dual enrollment. Along with that, I am an active member of the softball and basketball teams, as well as the National Honor Society and Beta clubs. After graduation this year, I will attend Nichols studying business administration with a pre-law concentration. After graduating from Nichols, I plan to attend law school. I look forward to representing this parish at the local, state, and even the national levels when I travel to Washington, and I hope that throughout my reign I can inspire everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have the reading and approval of the minutes, and the first minutes we'd like to approve is the Board of Review. At the prior meeting, we had a board review, and our assessor, Randy Sexton, came in and gave us, we'll do both together? Okay, we'll go ahead and do both together. I've been informed. We'll go ahead and approve the regular meeting too, if I could get a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to forego the approval of the minutes and accept as written.
We have a motion. Can I get a second? We have a second by Mr. Bradford. Roll call, please.
Allen,
Yes.
Easley,
Yes.
Dominique,
Yes.
Frazier,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Pierce,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
Bradford,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Jordan, Morgan.
So moved. Next, we have the President's report of President Daigle.
Thank you, Chairman Jewell, ladies and councilmen. Tonight, I do have, in y'all packet, I gave y'all a folder with my president's report. And in there, I do have, a few items. What I'll do is kind of go through the list. What I'd like to start off with is our employee recognitions. Throughout this month, we didn't have any milestone recognitions, which is that 5, 10, 15, 20 year, although we did have 2 21-year employees that, unfortunately didn't get to be recognized last year. Those individuals, we're going to bring at a future date. But we do have some new positions of supervisors that were put into place, and we did hire our new fire chief and emergency preparedness, emergency services individual. So, first of all, I'm going to bring up our new water plant supervisor. As in before, I'd like to bring these faces before you so you're familiar with the leaders that are helping lead and supervise the parish. Mr. Dwayne Savoy, he's here tonight. Mr. Dwayne, do want to recognize him. He is our new water plant supervisor. It's been about 6 or 7 years since we've had a supervisor on site at the water plant, and Dwayne has been there for 2 years. He brings a lot of wealth and knowledge in the institution, but being a retiree from the chemical industry, he brings a lot of value with processes and technology. Well, in that field, that's gonna be a good supervisor on site. So we did recognize that since the last council meeting. Next, we did went through a process with our fire chief and emergency services. And in that hiring, we narrowed it down and did some good interviews with those candidates. And the one that really has stood above and to be recognized, he is one of our current Bayou Pigeon, Bayou Saw fire chiefs, and he's going to be transitioning to the role of fire chief in emergency services for the parish, working underneath Office of Emergency Preparedness, which is with Clint Moore. And he's here tonight, Mr. Sean Bordelon. Sean.
Does that mean
We have two new candidates or employees that are a part of the parish government. They are going to bring a lot of value as we continue to move Iberville Parish forward. Another important position that is on the books that we've been doing interviews on is human resources. We currently today we were in a little 5-hour marathon. We interviewed 5 candidates today, so we have some very good quality candidates that are going to bring some value to the human resource position as we look at that moving forward. By next month, we will have that candidate that we're going to introduce to you here at the council meeting. Underneath our operations, our mayor's meeting, we did meet after last month's meeting. We usually like to try to meet the week prior to, but we did meet in Maringouin, and at that meeting in Maringouin, we had Miss Monica Edmonds' office. She came and gave an update on community services to the mayors and let them know, because there are a lot of assets that we have that some of the mayors didn't even know that our community services offers to them. So that was a very productive meeting. Recently, as far as last week, we met in St. Gabriel. It was our mayor's meeting in St. Gabriel, and we had Mr. Randall Dunn, speak about finances across the parish. Those things have been going on, and some great collaboration across the parish. What I do also want to say, as far as operations, today we held our first IPRD board meeting. And what I mean by that is the true board of IPRD is you, the council. But internally, as far as having a community board that gives a voice across the parish, what we've done is we've worked with the mayors to give them, say, a little skin in the game. But it's important that, being that all of 6 of our municipalities are spread throughout Iberville Parish, that they give us a representative from their community that's going to be a voice at this committee meeting. Mr. Eric Willis was there, and it was a very productive meeting, first meeting today, but we're going to be meeting monthly at 5 p.m. prior to the council meeting. And the intent is to have collaboration and to have transparency across the parish. But it's to get more kids involved. But not only that, Parks and Recs is so much more than just baseball, football, softball. You know, it involves all of our boat landings. It involves so much more in IPRD as we're going to continue to move forward. So we did have that meeting today. We do have some great mayor appointees as well, and that's an important step as we continue to improve the efficiency and to make sure that more kids are involved in our IPRD rec teams. Another important milestone that I'm considering a milestone for all residents of Iberville Parish, which is a great step, is last week, after a meeting with the sheriff recently, about a month or 2 ago, we were finally able to get Office of Emergency Preparedness, which is our 911 department, and a sheriff's deputy dispatcher inside the same room. That has not happened in Iberville Parish in a very long time. But because of the great teamwork with the sheriff's department, we've come together and put a dispatcher in the same room. And you may ask, what's so important about it? What's the milestone? But it's very important. And the main reason is because anytime someone calls 911, seconds, much less minutes, count. And now that they're inside the same room, as a 911 call comes into the office, you know, our dispatcher picks up and they're talking to the resident or to the child on the phone or anything. Well, now that they're inside the same room, the dispatcher for the sheriff's department can put the headphone on and listen to the same call. The problem we've been having for years is that those phone calls would come into 911 EOC, or Office of Emergency Preparedness. They would pick up that, they would get all the information, then they would transfer it to the jail. And imagine the seconds and minutes that it's taking for an individual to repeat, hey, I'm in a wreck. You know, this is the situation. They don't know where they're at. Or if it's a child that's, you know, in a situation that they're trying to, you know, save their parents and things like, you know, so many situations really kind of give me chills. But that's a right step in the right direction to make sure that our residents are getting the emergency response to their house at a much faster response, or a wreck or anything like that. Because for one that has been in the fire department since I've been 15 years old, I know that every second counts when you're dealing with emergency situations. So I'm very proud of that. That's a right step in the right direction for Iberville Parish, and now we're gonna knock seconds and minutes off of some of those response times. Grove State Bridge. We know that the vehicle bridge is now open, those temporary hours. It is still expected to be open November, December. There's no real new news on that other than they're waiting on those parts to come. We have teamed up at the last day that the foot ferry was open on the Sunday. We teamed up with a lot of our local elected officials, and we provided like a meal for the community. The expected opening is November, December. Projects that are going on, we have the CORP-D quarterly meeting, which is the Capital Area Roads and Bridge District meeting. We met at the Capitol 2 weeks ago, and at that meeting, it was relayed to us that there was a little slow time throughout this year that kind of delayed some of the contracts getting in place, but it was a change in the governor coming into a new position. So they were slow at getting some of those contracts in place. But they are still firm with having a identified location, one out of those 3 locations being in the first quarter of next year. It is important that we make sure that the bridge stays at the forefront of the decisions that are being made at DOTD. Recently, I think on Friday, it was on Friday, I spoke with Secretary Donahue at DOTD just to reaffirm commitment from them that that there are no talks of our funding kind of being taken away from us. So currently, what happens is we have 300 million that has been there set into an account, and then we have 40 million annually that is set aside from some revenue. With that 40 million, when you take it and bond it out over 30 years, it's contributed to about $600 million. So we have 900 million almost basically sitting there for this project to move forward. Beyond that, there is total revenue over 50 years could potentially bring in around 250 million. So we have about 1.1 million, teaming up with a private public partnership to make this project happen. The main objective is to make sure that that we don't lose focus and that nobody at the Capitol. So later this month, I have meetings with all of our elected officials that represent Iberville Parish. Every single one of them is going to be inside the same room. And I say elected, I'm talking like on the state level, right? The ones that are at the Capitol that have a say-so in the day-to-day, and they're in the governor's office on a weekly basis and having those discussions with them because they need to know the importance that we continue this the push for this bridge. Highway 30 and pump station, the contracts have been signed. That's the Highway 30 20-inch line that we're adding. 2A Services did win that contract, and they are getting started very soon. That's also the line that's going to LCIW, Louisiana Correctional Institute for Women's. They are going to be coming online around March 8th. The Bayou Pigeon Boat Ramp, you mentioned a resolution a few minutes ago, and I know that's your district, Miss Easley, but what happens is there was $2 million that was originally allocated. The contract came in, the bid came back at 1.9 million. So CPRA is contributing an additional $600,000 to this project. So they need to sign a new CEA, which is a cooperative endeavor agreement, to increase it to 2.6 million. So that was, I'm not gonna say it was a delay, but by us getting that done tonight, then they can move forward with getting that contract in place because they have 45 days from the date that it was, the bid was open. Highway 1 North, Plaquemine is it's in engineering. We discussed it last month, but right now it is in engineering, and we did get the permit from the railroad. On our community, we did a waterway cleanup day recently. It was a success. We had other partners throughout the parish. The sheriff's department teamed up. We had about 10 about 10 boats total that helped clean up the waterways. It was a great initiative, which was a response off of our original cleanup day of Keep Iberville Beautiful. We are going to take this and build off of it. We are going to make it an annual September event. Try to avoid, the first week of hunting season or squirrel season, which was the week that we did it. Yes, also inside your packet, I do have a few dates that I want to bring y'all aware. We do have Iberville Wear Pink Day. We're teaming up with the school system. Everyone at the courthouse, we're getting the information to them and the ARC. On this Thursday is Wear Pink Day in Iberville Parish. So it's a big day that we want to bring awareness to cancer, and we want to make sure that that information's getting out there. So we want to present it to you. Also, we have our Veterans Day. It's in your packet on November 11th, Monday. Please make sure it's on your calendar. I know a lot of you council members do attend that event. It is at the courthouse, and it is going to be an important day as we continue to thank our veterans. There are also the Council on Aging Thanksgiving. It's an item, the Senior Citizen Luncheon that is performed by the Council on Aging. I want to thank Ms. Charlene Sipler and her staff because they do a phenomenal job with that event annually. Outside of that, there are just a couple of dates, maybe to be mindful or the Halloween, days coming on in your community. I know that tonight y'all are going to approve a Halloween as far as being a night, but outside of that, next week at Boo on the Bellevue is right here in Plaquemine on October 23rd. It's next Wednesday. We have the Boo on the Bullion White Castle, Miss Allen, on October 31st. That's Thursday. Halloween night. And then we do have Boo on the Bayou down in, I believe, in Bayou Pigeon, October 20th, which is on a Sunday. And then we have Trunk or Treat across the river, October 31st. It's also Halloween night. That kind of sums up the president's report. Are there any questions?
Any questions?
All right.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you. Next, we have Mr. Dunn. He's going to give us a financial report.
Good evening, Council, Council Chair, Council Clerk. First of all, I'll start off by apologizing. I delivered the financial statements tonight. The monthly financials, I have to wait till I get those sales tax numbers plugged in on the 10th, which was last Thursday. We had a mail holiday Monday. Usually when those meetings, once or twice a year, I have to deliver them the night of the meeting because I wasn't certain if y'all were going to get them anyway. So I do apologize for that. So obviously, if you're just looking at them tonight, can't ask any questions tonight. So if y'all do have some questions, just give me a call. I'll be more than happy to go over it with y'all. So y'all all have the proposed budget here, document with y'all. This ordinance we're asking to be set for public hearing next month. Been doing this for 26 years. This will be the first time in the history of Iberville Parish that we're setting we're going to have a meeting, a hearing. The council can ask questions, and we're going to turn around and have a separate hearing. We'll have basically 2 hearings on the budget. I think it's a great thing. Finance is not always the most exciting topic. So it kind of excites me, the fact that, y'all want to know a little bit more about what's going on in this document. I would tell you, our department put a lot of work into this document. The effort that we put forth with everything going on, reorganization, change, new leadership, I hats off to them for let's get this thing put together and delivered to y'all tonight. A lot of times in the past, charter says that I have to deliver this budget to y'all, 60 days before year end. And I can remember sometimes I'd present the ordinance. I hadn't done it lately, but I would be delivering these things on Halloween or the 30th, to make sure I met that deadline. So I'm proud to say with everything going on, we were able to meet this deadline and get it to y'all so y'all have ample time to review it. I do ask y'all one thing, and I think y'all have begun to talk about it when we set this public hearing later on in the meeting. I told y'all in the past, I can go for 8 hours talking about the budget, which nobody wants to do. I need an agenda, so I can hit the points that y'all want to know about. If somebody can provide that to me,
I'll supply that to Macy. She'll get it to you as soon as she gets it typed up. She'll get that to you.
And so if there's something specific that y'all want to know about, filter that through the council chair so that we can get that. I can make sure that I touch on those topics. I want to say something additional on the Grove State Bridge. When all this was going on with the barge hitting the bridge, we didn't know if the bridge would be open or not. So we sent a letter to the state, asked for that voting precinct to be moved to Intercoastal, and that is going to happen for November and December. It was approved, and you can't turn back. And the fact that the bridge is closed, how many hours during voting? Was it 4 hours or 3 hours? Like when it's closed, when is it shut down? 3 hours. So that's a possible infringement on somebody's rights if that bridge is closed and they can't get across and they got to drive around. So we've been in talks with the Secretary of State's office. We are actually on Thursday. We're going to go to each one of the residences affected, and we're putting a door hanger. If you got 4 voters in the house, they'll get 4 door hangers with their address and their location at Intercoastal. I think it affects about 220 voters. The Secretary of State's office is also going to send out a voter registration card that informs them that that they're going to be voting at that Intercoastal location rather than the Crescent location. So, y'all just keep in mind if somebody does just call y'all, to make sure y'all let them know that it's people on that side that normally vote at Crescent. They're going to be voting at that Intercoastal station. Y'all have any other questions about any projects, anything we have going on? I think that's all I had for y'all.
I don't have a question, but I have a copy. Parish, Mr. Matt, I spoke with Mr. Randall when we meet with our budget. This was suggestion, like each council, whatever activity we have in our area, we could put that as a line. I might say we're not getting it all done, but that'll give our citizens saying we're doing something like rain is waiting for roads, we'll bring that, each one of our areas. I don't know how, if y'all feel the same way, but I feel it as District 1. Give us something to work with in this budget. Even if we don't do it all, I know you're waiting on lights in your area, bring it all and then we can put that. But I spoke with Mr. Rounder about it, correct, Rounder?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna have, and I think projects, 24 projects and 25 projects are gonna be part of the discussion at that meeting. So we'll,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get that to you. Mason, you got that, did you have that ready? You got it? Not yet, okay. She's got to type it up.
I think the key thing to remember is, we're adopting this budget, but that budget can be amended. So if there was a mention about drainage last month about drainage projects, and I think if every councilman's got some drainage issues, and we look at the drainage and we say this project, does it make sense to do this project? Is there a cost benefit? And we prioritize those projects, we can always come back and say, I can say, hey, I got X amount of dollars available. Let's go ahead and start knocking some of these projects off. I mean, I think that's a great idea. And that's just drainage. That goes with anything. We can always amend the budget as long as there's money available.
Okay. Any other questions? Thank you, Mr. Dunn.
Thank you.
Next, we had old business. Just prior to this meeting, we had a public hearing on 2 proposed ordinances. The first one being an ordinance to provide for the placement of recreational vehicles in unincorporated areas in Iberville Parish. And the second one was an ordinance by the Iberville Parish President, Chris Daigle, to the council chair and council to seeking administrative reorganization. And that's the big plan that was discussed earlier. And there was no opposition from the public on both of these ordinances. And I need a motion and a second to adopt.
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion. And we have a second.
Are we voting on them separate or together?
Together.
We can do separate.
We can do separate if,
Thank you very much.
okay. Let's do separate. We'll do A first.
So who was the second? I'm sorry.
The first one, yeah.
Who was the second?
Mr. Dart, Mr. Dart. Our computer system is down tonight, so.
Allen,
Yes.
Easley,
Yes.
Dominique,
Yes.
Frazier,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Pierce,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Marcus,
Yes.
Bradford,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Jordan,
Yes.
Morgan.
Yeah.
So moved. Number 2,
I'll make a motion.
we have a motion
A second.
and we have a second. That's Mrs.
Allen?
Smith.
No.
Easley,
Yes.
Dominique,
Yes.
Frazier,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Pierce,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Markins,
Yes.
Bradford,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Jordan,
Yes.
Morgan.
Yeah.
So moved. Next, we had new business. We have an introduction of an ordinance, and that ordinance being an ordinance to adopt the fiscal year 2025 operating and capital improvement budget and the amended 2024 operating and capital improvement budget for Iberville Parish Council. Mr. Dunn, did you want to read part of that or just sum it up, or what you?
We're just asking to set the public hearing.
Okay, so we're gonna set that for public, I need a motion to set it for public hearing on November the 19th. All right, well, could we get that again? All right, okay, we have a motion and a second. Okay, Mr. Frazier, okay, roll
Allen,
call.
Yes.
Easley,
Yes.
Dominique,
Yes.
Frazier,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Pierce,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Markins,
Yes.
Bradford,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Jordan,
Yes.
Morgan.
Yeah.
So moved. Next on item is trick or treat schedule for 2024. I need a motion and a second to adopt the schedule.
I'll make a motion.
We have a vote, we have a motion.
If we go on the 31st from 6 to 8, that's
Yep.
the motion is.
That's it, yeah.
I second.
Allen,
Yes.
Easley,
Yes.
Dominique,
Yes.
Frazier,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Pierce,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Markins, Bradford,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Jordan,
Yes.
Morgan.
Yeah.
So moved. Next, we had a proposed variance for K&L Family Acres LLC and a variance for the farm at Estruma Village. If we could just get a little,
Chairman, at the planning commission meeting earlier, the commission, actually, for the first one, the commission last month, voted favorably, for a lot count variance for K&L Family Acres. And at tonight's meeting, the commission voted favorably to accept the variance for roadway servitude from 50 to 40 feet, side setbacks of from 10 to 5, and a front setback of 25 to 20 feet. And I have Bradford here to present, and he can tell you a little bit more about it.
Okay. Mr. Bradford, do you come forward?
Good afternoon. So this particular item, this is a piece of property that's over down Highway 77 going to Grove State. If you're familiar, one of the landmarks, it's right past, it's just north of Leroy's, where Leroy's used to be. And it's the back tour, what I would call the back tour piece.
It's on the right side of
On
the
the
road.
right side. It's in between the road and Bayou Grove State. And the family, it's a large family that have several lots, and they've broken them up already on the opposite side on the west side of 77. And this is to break up the piece that's in between 77 and Bayou Grove State.
Grove State, yeah.
And each of the lots is going to be roughly right around 6-7 acres. So it's a fairly decent sized tract of land, and it's for the Como family.
Okay. All right. And your recommendation to us is to approve?
Yes.
Okay. And how about the other one, the farm at
So the other one, the form, this is a planned development. And once again, this is for preliminary approvals. This is to get started on the design plans. This is, if you're familiar with Estruma Brewery over in St. Gabriel, this is where they have the brewery and pizza. This would be the front piece of that property that they want to develop it. Wants to put some residential lots. There is a plan for a phase 2 expansion, which could potentially be some condos and maybe some more commercial development, maybe another strip mall. But right now, the phase 1 plan, preliminary plan, is to develop the residential lots. And what you'll see is at the very bottom is where the barn is located, which is at the back end. It's going through renovations at this time, and eventually will open back up here in a few months.
Okay. And it's
And
all,
so this is, once again, this is a preliminary approval to just start on the construction plan. So we will have to come back for final approval.
yeah, so they're gonna put in sewage and all that stuff and
Community
road
sewer treatment,
drainage.
and roads, yes.
Okay.
Utilities, everything.
Is
Yes.
it your recommendation to accept this?
Yes.
Okay, all right. I need a,
This a family or is this a company coming in?
This is, it's the owner. It's an individual.
Alright.
He actually, his house is, if you look off to the left-hand side, that's his house right there.
okay, all right. I need a motion and a second to approve C and D. C and D.
Second.
We have a motion and we have a second. Roll
Allen,
call.
Yes.
Easley,
Yes.
Dominique,
Yes.
Frazier,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Pierce,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Markins,
Yes.
Bradford,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Darden,
Yes.
Morgan.
Thank y'all.
So moved. Thank you. Motion, and we have a motion to schedule a special budget hearing on Wednesday, November the 6th at 6 p.m. Right here in the council chambers. I need a motion and a second. We have a motion
Second.
and a second. Roll call.
Allen,
Yes.
Easley,
Yes.
Dominique,
Yes.
Frazier,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Pierce,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Markins,
Yes.
Bradford,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Darden,
Yes.
Morgan.
Yeah.
So moved. Just prior to this meeting, we had a committee meeting, and it was found favorable to bring forth 4 resolutions for adoption tonight. And the first one being a resolution authorizing the chief administrative officer act of all matters with regard to the facility planning and control capital outlay projects 50-J24-22-01 and 50-J24-24-01 Choctaw Bayou drainage and ecological and improvements. The second one being, y'all want to vote on those separate? Good. Okay, all right. And the second was a resolution of the Iberville Parish Council approving and authorizing Iberville Parish President Chris Daigle to execute the attached cooperative endeavor agreement between Iberville Parish through its Parish Council and Iberville Parish Community Awareness and Emergency Response ICARE. And the third one was a resolution authorizing the Iberville Parish President to sign an amendment to the existing cooperative endeavor agreement between the Coastal Protection and Restoration Authority, CPRA, and Iberville Parish Council for the increased funding necessary to complete the Pigeon Bayou landing improvement project. And the fourth one being a resolution to allow Iberville Parish President Chris Daigle to enter into an intergovernmental agreement on behalf of the Iberville Parish Council with East Baton Rouge Parish and Ascension Parish to prepare a hydraulic model for submittal to the Louisiana Office of Community Development and support for a project funding under the Louisiana Watershed Initiative to restore the lower end of Bayou Manchac and to realign the mouth of Ward Creek to reduce flood risk. I need a motion and a second to adopt all four.
I'll second.
We have a motion and we have a second. Roll call.
Allen,
Yes.
Easley,
Yes.
Dominique,
Yes.
Frazier,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Pierce,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Markins,
Yes.
Bradford,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Dart,
Yes.
Morgan.
So moved. And there being no other business tonight, I would like to have a motion and a second to adjourn.
I make a motion.
We have a motion. We have a second. No objection. So moved. I want to thank everybody for coming tonight.
Cheers.